What's going on, everybody out there in YouTube land? I'm Jay Jones. First time seeing this video from Anthony O'Neill. Only seen literally like 10 seconds of it. So let's see what he's talking about.
Having $100,000 in your savings account provides a safety net for emergencies and unexpected expenses, reducing financial stress. You walk into your job and you got $100,000. You walk in there differently. When I reached $100,000, it was a significant psychological milestone that boosted my confidence and it set a solid foundation for future gain. When I look at my accounts now and I have several $100,000 dispersed between my business, between myself and etc., it's like, man, wow, if I could do $100,000, what else can I do? Now my brain is stretched. If we can have $500 in our savings account in today's day and time, that's great. But we shouldn't be aiming for $500 minimum. We should be aiming for at least 3 to 6 months of our net pay. I stretched myself to a year of my net pay parked inside of my high yield savings account with SoFi because I wanted to know that if something happened to me, I am in a great place. And psychologically, I'm like, there's nothing I can't do. Not only did it do something to my mind, but it also gave me a sense of financial security.
All right, shout out to Anthony O'Neill. Okay. So I get what he's saying. He's just saying that you feel a little bit different when you can reach that. And I can actually talk to this point, right? And the reason why I could talk to this point is because when I closed my first real estate deal, which is on my channel, Project Boston, if you go and look for it, I made over $100,000 on my fix and flip. Right? My daughter was born. My second daughter was born when I closed my property. I actually was in the hospital and I closed when my wife actually just got, the baby. So she's the real hero here. And I closed in the hospital and I got my first 6-figure check and everything did feel different, right? Psychologically, I did, like I said, mentally, I felt like, oh man, I could do anything, right? Because I just literally went and sacrificed. It was about like 4 or 5 months of my life. I invested some money into it and I made a crazy return. It literally did take the limitations off of me, right? And I was able to create other streams of income from that. So he's right? I mean, you should really just start thinking about the things that you can do, right? Stop thinking that, because of my situation right now, I can't afford to do that. Trust me, you can. You got to change a lot of things in your life to do so. But, I did notice this, right? This is what I did notice financially. I noticed that when I made that money and I started investing, right? When I started investing, I always had more money at the end of the year than I did when I only had my 9-to-5 job. When I only had my 9-to-5 job, you know how January comes around and you get that, W-2 and it shows you how much you made. And then I would look and see how much I had in my bank account. And I would say, when I had my W-2 only, I'm like, where did that money go? Because I don't have nearly a quarter or a percentage of this, man. Like, where did it go? And when I started investing and I started adding income streams to my life, at the end of the year, I started noticing, oh, well, I got some thousands of dollars like in the account. Like I'm not where I was when I just had just the single source of income. I actually got money in my account now as I started investing. And so when I made that first big check and I took my money and I actually put it into something and it came back, I started to feel like, okay, then I can do this. And the byproduct of that was actually having more money to invest. And I started noticing that after every month, I actually had money, right? Now, I use my business money for business and I separate it from personal in my life. So I only try to operate off of personal expenses to take care of my lifestyle. And even if I got that money from business, I don't touch that for my personal. I just don't. But I do agree and I do understand what Anthony O'Neill is saying. He's basically telling you to take the limitations off of your own self. And whether you make $100,000, whether you make $10,000, $20,000, whatever it is, you'll start to notice that confidence that you build. You'll start to learn that you are entitled to having a great life as well. And that's what I did notice. I noticed, like, when I seen that money in my account, can I just share that moment with y'all? When I seen that money in my account, again, my wife has literally got the baby in her hand. and I'm, freshly new dad of two. I looked at my account and I'm like, the next day, and I'm like, oh man, it's in there, and I made it. But you know what I noticed when I made my first $100,000? I noticed how scary it was because it came at a lump sum, and I didn't want to spend this money, and I knew I had to go invest it. I knew I had to go put it into something else, but I felt more responsible. I felt that I had to be more responsible with that money because who's to say you will ever make this again? So I had to go and say, okay, what am I going to do with this money? And I said immediately, I have to go and do exactly what I did the first time, and I got to go park it into some more real estate. And then I end up buying another fix and flip, and I start making money on that, which then turned into rental properties that I ended up buying, right? So I felt more, like I said, more responsible. I felt like I had to be more accountable because if this money goes away, it's my fault. But if this happens to work out, it's also my reward. So, yeah, I mean, I just seen the video come across. I thought it was a good financial video. Like I said, I only seen 10 seconds. So this is my real first reaction to it. And I agree, man. I agree with what Anthony O'Neill is saying, man. And, um, I'll share something else too, man. It doesn't matter how much money you make if you don't know how to manage the money that you have, right?
Audio Jungle.
Many people think more money solves their money problems, and it doesn't, because there's a way that money works, right? And if you don't fix your money principles, your money habits, you just get more money, and then you just buy more things, and then you look at your account or you look at something and say, well, where did it go? Like, where did it go? And it's because if you don't have the right things, if you don't have the right mindset on how to invest your money, how to put your money back out there to come back, you're just going to spend it on everything. Oh, let me buy this. Oh, let me buy that. Oh, I got money for this. Oh, I can afford this. And by the time you know it, you're down to your last $1,000. And you're like, what the hell happened? So I just encourage everybody, including myself, to continue to build the money habits. Read these books, these financial books that have the information in them. And when you do make your first big check, understand that you can do more and you can do it again. And again, when I made my first 100,000, I definitely changed my financial mindset because I knew I could do it. I was like, I had $100,000 month. I could say that I've had that one time in my life, right? And I said, okay, now I can do anything. So hopefully this is a motivational video for you. Hopefully, it shares with you. I'm just a normal guy, right? I am no different. I'm a person who struggled in school all throughout high school. I was not no A+ student. I literally was told I had ADD, and I was insecure about my ADD all the way up until I was like 20 something years old, until I got my first corporate job where I worked my tail off. And I started to understand that a lot of times people don't care about how smart you are. It's about how hard you work. And then that's when I started being a little less secure about how much I knew and being the smartest person in the world. So then started putting my work ethic out there and doing the things that I said I was going to do. So I'm not a genius, right? When I have to work at something, I always have to work a little bit harder. I might have to read the book 2 times for me to understand certain things. Like, I am a normal person. So me making $100,000 or doing real estate deals, the only thing is I'm just passionate about what I do, and I indulge heavy into the things that I love to do until I become good at it. And that is all. I'm no different from somebody else, right? So that's just what I got to say. If you think you got to be a genius, no, you don't. You just got to be dedicated. You got to be passionate about it. And you also have to believe in yourself at the end of the day, right? And that's one thing that I do is I at least know I believe in myself. I know smart people and geniuses that question themselves all the time, but I believe in myself. And that's a trait that they don't have, right? So let me get up out of here. And like I say, after every video, that this is chess, not checkers. And I'm going to see y'all at work.
It's going to be a cold summer.